You have heard so many people over the last few days. The message is pretty much similar. What they have been saying to you may be couched in different terms, broached in different ways, different styles, because they're all different personalities. But the message is the same. You are here at the critical point of VCon. There are a lot of people who are at this point making a decision as to what they are going to do when they return. See, that is what is really important. What are you going to do when you return? VCon, many a time people have asked me, when is VCon? This to me is only the culmination. VCon is all year round. You live VCon every single day. Eventually, you will come to live from VCon to VCon. Are you with me? So this is in a way like a train station. Are you with me? And the journey begins again when you leave the station. And you go back to VCon in your mind. You go back to VCon mode as you step off the station and get back into the train. And your lives, that's the real journey. Your lives back home, that's the real journey. That's where VCon and its effects will be truly felt. Are you with me? Are you with me? The whole objective of VCon is critical. As I said yesterday, I'm only looking for 150 people. That's it. If I get 150 people, we are on track. Are you with me? The rest of you may be here for the fun and games, and that's okay. It may take 1, 2, 3, 4, half a dozen VCons before you are ready. Because a lot of times that's exactly what happens. But for some of you, this is the VCon. This is the space. This is the place that changes the face of your lives. Are you with me? You must be, some of you must be exasperated, fed up, tired of doing what you have been doing all this time. Something has to change, yeah? Am I right? And that change cannot happen outside of you. That change must happen in you, within you. Because when you change, the world changes. So VCon is a place, it's a catalyst where we wake you up, set you on fire, and you go back there and set the world on fire. So someone says, "You are crazy." What do you say? And if you are a rat, so Baba, that truly translates into, "I am a crazy rat." You see, here's the point. Does it really matter what anyone has to say? That's the first thing you learn. That's the first thing you learn. What anyone has to say is not going to change your lives. Hena? What you say to yourself, that is definitive. See, what's really important is people learn to trust you. Now, how does that work? It works because every time you say something, you do it. The more times you do that, the more often you actually walk the walk. It's called walking the walk. Not just talking the walk, but walking the walk. Everyone talks the walk. After all, that's what we do, no? Networkers, we are good at talking. I'm saying as a networker, par excellence, as a networker who takes it to the next level, it's not about talking the walk. That you have already proven. Now you need to walk the walk. And that's where your words start to have currency. And that becomes very powerful. Are you with me? But nevertheless, you are crazy. You need to be crazy and love it. So you say, I am mad. Arey Baba, I am mad. And what does mad mean? M-A-D. Making a difference. So you are making a difference. And that's why being mad counts. Be mad, Baba. Be gloriously mad. Enjoy every moment of every day because this is the greatest gift that you can have. The day, the time, this particular minute. It's the greatest gift that has been given to you. You need to now utilize it. So yesterday we saw People Are Awesome. I always like to show a video of these people who are definitely considered pagal. Considered crazy by everyone else. So there's this new sport that has evolved. And people all over the world are doing it. As incredible as it is, all over the world they're doing it. And they're risking their lives to do it. This is a sport that doesn't require you to go out onto a field or onto a court. It can be played anywhere, anytime, particularly in the inner cities. The taller the building, the better. The more dangerous the building, the better. And it's simply referred to as parkour. Now, people who do this thing, parkour, those of you who belong to, the millennials and the Gen Zs, you know this already, yeah? You can just go onto the YouTube online and you can see so many of them. But for the rest of you, I'm going to introduce you to something that is truly crazy, and yet people do it every day. They risk their lives for what? Again, not for money. They do it simply because they can. Are you with me? The objective of this is simply for you to know, Hare, if they can do that, what is it you cannot do? On one side, it's simply crazy. Is it not? And these are kids that are doing it. And there's no reason, if you sit and talk to them, no rhyme, no reason, no explanation. Why do you do it? Just because. Is there somebody giving them money at the end of it? No. Is there some award? If you're doing it for the Olympics, now that's something, right? Nahi yaar, no Olympics. It's there, therefore I want to do it. Are you with me? And it takes incredible practice. They break bones. They die. They end up in hospital. They get paralyzed. They do all of this knowing the risks. Are you with me? And every generation has its own version. This is parkour, which is as of now. But if you go back a decade or two, they were racing motorbikes down the street. Are you with me? You see, some of these people who are now in their middle age, so to speak, God knows what they were doing when they were 19. And look at the smile. Dangerous people. My question is, what happened? What happened? Tough love? You got old, that's what happened. You started believing, the garbage that other people tell you. Are you with me? You started conforming. You started agreeing. You started giving in. You started giving up. At the end of it all, what happens? You get old. Are you with me? Only people who have time to get old get old. But for people who have no time, simply because they are so busy living their lives, old is a number. Are you with me? As I said yesterday to a question somewhere, people should not be talking to your age. They should not be talking to your age. If they're sitting there saying, this is a ridiculous question I get almost every other week on, right? Somebody says, I'm too young or I'm too old, right? So they say, I'm too young or I'm too old. Nobody wants to listen to me. And that is such absolute garbage. Are you with me? If they are looking at your age, they are not looking at you anymore. They should never go past looking at you to look at your age. Do you get my point? Like I said, when Padman went up to do his plan, or his version of the plan, he was very much ahead of his times. Very futuristic plan, that one. It was like a, trip to Mars. It looked like Picasso. After the plan was all over, I was trying to figure out. I am the one who's tried to teach him the plan. And I could not understand what he was doing. But here's the point. Did anybody care? Are you with me? Yesterday we sang a song. Yes? It was good fun, was it not? The fact that it was in Hindi didn't matter. Half the stadium didn't understand it. Didn't matter. The music was universal. The energy was universal. The love was universal. Everyone sang. Are you with me? Did you guys like the song? No? Okay, Pavan, we will not be singing a song today. They are not interested. Africa! Africa, do you like the song? You see, they didn't need to understand the words and they loved the song. Are you with me? And that is the energy that I'm talking about. You see, when you sit down, wherever you are across the world and you're making a presentation, it doesn't matter where you are from, where they are from, what language you're speaking, how you're doing it. All of this doesn't matter. If they are sitting across from you and the eye contact is there, are you with me? They should be totally blown over. Like the crowd that was listening to Patman, they were totally confused, but everyone wanted to sign up under him. Are you with me? So the day you recognize that they are focused on this, because this is the way I want to live my life, yeah. I want to live my life with this kind of fire, with this kind of enthusiasm, with this kind of energy, right? Whatever it is I want. They basically came up to me and asked me, I don't know what pills you are giving, Patman, I want to buy that bottle. I could have sold them vitamin C, they would have all paid. Are you with me? But that's the beauty of it, is it not? That is the beauty of it. Today, these guys that you saw, parkour is a French word, because this particular sport started, primarily in France, in the poorest tenements of France, in the slums. All right? These are the kids that risked their lives because they wanted to show that they can do something with their lives. Are you with me? You have warriors who fear not death, but they want to live. That's the difference. So on one side you have crazy, and the other side you must have caring. You must have compassion. Why? Because in our business, there's only one thing that works. Teams. Only teams take you to the top. You cannot make this happen alone. You cannot. When I started way back then, 1998 with Japa, the first thing we looked at was forming our team. And the beauty of that is almost everybody who started with us then are still with us now. If you look at the board of directors sitting in the back there, almost all of them have a minimum of 15 years, if not 20 years with us. Some time ago, we celebrated our very first 15th anniversary. So we began in 1998, so this would have been in 2013. So we celebrated our very first 15th anniversary in 2013, right? And there were around 46 people who came up to receive their award, 15-year award, working in the company. It's after they came up on stage that I realized, I looked back and called for our accountants to find out how many people were there in our first year when we first started out. Our first office in Hong Kong, in totality, we had just over 80. Now, out of 80 people, 46 people were there after 15 years. Does that say something about us? That's more than 50% retention rate. Why? Loyalty is the first thing we learn to build. Without teams, nothing happens. The weakest member in your team, the weakest, the one who tests you the most, the one that challenges you the most, that's where you need to spend the most amount of time, because he is the one who's going to bring out in you the best qualities of leadership. Never give in to your fears, to your temptations, to your weaknesses, and never give up on anyone. Everybody takes their own time, Hena. So you go from crazy on one side to caring and compassionate on the other side. Are you with me? You need to care. It's as simple as that. If there is a magical quality to leadership, it is care. See, when someone really knows that you care about them, something happens. Your relationship changes. Are you with me? Caring is the art that you have to first learn, to understand, to appreciate, and to implement. Remember one thing. You might see them as lazy, as not trying hard enough, as being weak, whatsoever, and you want to give up and move on. Are you with me? If they give up on you, that's fine. That's not in your control. And you cannot make anyone do anything that they're not prepared to do. You cannot make champions of someone who's not willing to try. Are you with me? But on your side, you don't give up. That's within your control. Effort is always yours. Results are His. So don't try to control result. What you have in your hand is effort. Give it. Give 110% and you will be amazed at how it comes back to you. Which means don't give up, don't give in. And that is the power of what this does. There is something amazing in each one of us. Each one of us. So the weakest member of your team is still bringing something special. It's up to you to find it. It's up to you to keep on trying. Not giving up, not giving in. Are you with me? You are blessed. We just went through 2.5 years of a pandemic. People lost lives. Everyone here knows somebody who basically either lost a life or is suffering in one way or the other. Businesses have crashed. Places all over the world. No country has been exempt. Every country on the planet. On one hand, it has been a disaster. On the other hand, for a networker, this is a golden era. This is a golden era. People who will never listen to you, who would have never listened to you before, are today in a different state of mind, mentally, physically, and otherwise. Are you with me? We are heading into an economic challenge. Call it a depression if you like. It doesn't matter, the language doesn't matter. It is important to recognize that is when network marketing flourishes like crazy. But it starts with one important point. Gratitude. You need to be grateful that you are alive. Grateful you survived the last few years. Grateful you have a roof above your heads, meals to eat. Grateful because out of gratitude grows miracles. Are you with me? So sometimes whenever I want to reawaken gratitude in my life, so sometimes among the many questions I get asked is, how do I feel grateful every morning? Are you with me? You have to go back. You have to win. You have to survive at all costs. You have to become a warrior of the mind. You go back and you lead. You go back. It's not just to survive, but to thrive. Are you with me? Another question that always comes to me is, Dato, what happened? Because you can do this naturally. You just go up on stage and you talk. I can't do that. I don't have that in me. Are you with me? Have you heard this before? There are networkers who come and tell you, oh, I can't do this. I can't be Patman. I can't be chief. I can't go up there and scream and shout. I don't know how to do that. Right? Yes? Rubbish. I'm saying to you rubbish. Because at one point or another you were children. And when you were a child, you believed. When you were a child, you had the courage you don't have today. When you were a child, rejection never stopped you. Did you see the smile on that child as he went down the slide? Did you see that? He was not comparing himself like you do with everyone else. He was not listening to everyone else. He couldn't be bothered. He just wanted to do it himself. But you had it at one point. Why are you like this now? Let's compare, shall we? Because this child, every time I see her, I smile. I've seen her hundreds of times, and every time I see her, I smile. And in you, in each and every one of you, there is this child. This child lives here. It's time for you to remember this child. It is time for you to reawaken this child. It is time for you to say hello to this child and bring this child back. Because I guarantee you, almost every single one of you was like that. Go ask your parents. Every one of us were born like that, because as children of God, we are born so much closer to Him, no? That's why we say children are closer to God. That confidence, that courage comes from simply not having fear. Where does fear come from? The rubbish that we pick up along the way, baggage that you carry around in your mind every single day, this wears you down. But that child, that should remind all of you how wonderful, how courageous, how incredibly powerful each and every one of you are. Are you with me? Every time you must challenge yourself to do something crazy. It doesn't matter how successful you become in life. You must still do something crazy. You must challenge yourself. If it's painful, do it. If it's hard to do, do it. You must test yourself. It is out of every test that courage is born. You take your life in your hands and make it work.